Force your brain to do hard things. Welcome back to Echo English. Imagine two people standing at the edge of the same opportunity. Both have the same dreams, the same fears, and the same potential. One of them takes a deep breath and steps into the unknown despite feeling scared, uncomfortable, and unprepared. The other turns away, convincing themselves that tomorrow will be a better day to begin. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and months become years. Eventually, their lives look completely different. The difference wasn't intelligence, talent, or luck, it was one invisible skill: the ability to force the brain to do hard things. Your brain is an incredible machine, but it was never designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, survival depended on conserving energy, avoiding danger, and choosing the easiest path whenever possible. Although the world has changed, your brain still follows those ancient survival instincts. It sees difficult work as unnecessary effort. That is why studying feels harder than scrolling through social media, exercising feels harder than staying in bed, and building your dreams feels harder than watching someone else achieve theirs. Your brain naturally chooses comfort because comfort feels safe. But here is the truth that changes everything. Comfort has never created greatness. Every remarkable achievement, every inspiring story, every successful person you admire reached their destination by repeatedly choosing discomfort over convenience. Growth begins the moment you stop allowing comfort to control your decisions. Most people unknowingly become servants to their own minds. Whenever their brain says, I am tired, they stop. When it whispers, I can do it tomorrow, they postpone. When it tells them this is too difficult, they quit before discovering what they are truly capable of. Highly successful people think differently. They understand that the brain is like an untrained employee. If you obey every excuse it gives you, it will continue producing excuses. If you teach it that action comes before comfort, it slowly learns that discipline is the new normal. Think about how a muscle grows. It doesn't become stronger while wrestling. It grows only after being challenged beyond its current limit. Your mind works exactly the same way. Every difficult task you complete is another repetition in your mental gym. Every time you resist procrastination, your mental strength decreases. Every time you choose focus over distraction, your self control becomes stronger. Although you may not notice the improvement immediately, your brain is quietly changing with every disciplined decision. One of the biggest lies your brain tells you is that difficult work will always feel painful. Yet, if you pay close attention, you will notice that the hardest part is rarely the work itself. The hardest part is simply beginning. Before you start studying, your brain invents countless excuses. Once you begin, concentration slowly replaces resistance. Before exercising, your body feels heavy. 5 minutes later, you feel energetic. Before writing, your mind feels empty. Once you start, ideas begin flowing naturally. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for the wind before raising the sails. Raise the sails first, and the wind will eventually carry you forward. Many people believe avoiding difficult things protects them from pain, but life doesn't work that way. The pain you avoid today simply returns in another form tomorrow. Skip studying today and tomorrow becomes filled with stress. Ignore your health today and future illness becomes more likely. Avoid learning new skills today and tomorrow brings missed opportunities. Every choice has a price. You either pay the price of discipline now or the price of regret later. Discipline may feel uncomfortable for a short time, but regret can stay with a person for years. One of the most powerful habits you can build is keeping promises to yourself. Every time you tell yourself, I will wake up early, study for an hour, exercise, or finish an important task, you are making an agreement with yourself. When you repeatedly break those promises, your brain slowly stops trusting your own words. Confidence doesn't come from repeating positive affirmations in front of a mirror. Confidence comes from evidence. Every promise you keep becomes proof that you are reliable. Every completed task tells your mind, I am someone who finishes what I start. That quiet belief becomes stronger than any motivational speech. The secret is not to wait for huge opportunities to prove your discipline. Train yourself with small daily challenges. Read one more page when you want to stop. Walk a little further when you are tired. Spend another 10 focused minutes learning instead of reaching for your phone. Speak English even when you are afraid of making mistakes. These small victories seem insignificant on their own, but together they completely reshape your identity. Your brain adapts to whatever you repeatedly practice. If you practice comfort every day, comfort becomes your lifestyle. If you practice courage every day, courage becomes your identity. Now imagine meeting the version of yourself 5 years from today. Picture someone who is healthier, wiser, more confident, financially stronger, emotionally calmer, and capable of handling challenges that once seemed impossible. That person didn't appear overnight. They were built one difficult decision at a time. Every early morning, every completed workout, every hour of focused study, every uncomfortable conversation, and every failure that became a lesson helped create that future self. The person you dream of becoming is waiting on the other side of the difficult choices you are avoiding today. So, whenever your brain tells you to quit, remember that it is simply trying to keep you comfortable, not successful. Thank it for trying to protect you, but don't let it make your decisions. Your future depends far more on the actions you take than on the feelings you have. Feelings change every day, but disciplined actions create lasting results. The next time you stand between comfort and growth, choose growth. Choose the difficult workout, choose the extra chapter, choose the uncomfortable conversation, choose to begin even when you don't feel ready. Every hard thing you do today strengthens the person you will become tomorrow. Greatness isn't built in moments of comfort, it is built in moments when you decide that your dreams matter more than your excuses. Real life example how Steve Jobs forced his brain to do hard things. One of the greatest examples of forcing the brain to do hard things is Steve Jobs. Today, people remember him as the visionary who changed the world with the iPhone, the Mac, and other revolutionary products. But very few people realize how much mental discipline it took to reach that level of success. As a young man, Steve Jobs didn't have a clear path to success. He dropped out of college because he couldn't afford the tuition, yet he continued attending classes that genuinely interested him, even though they offered no guarantee of a career. Walking into those classrooms without being an enrolled student required courage. His brain could have told him this is pointless or you are wasting your time. Instead, he chose curiosity over comfort. Years later, the calligraphy class he attended inspired the beautiful typography that made Apple computers stand out from every other computer at the time. The greatest challenge came years later when Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he had helped create. Imagine the pain of losing the business you built with your own hands. Most people would have accepted defeat. Their minds would have convinced them that the story was over. Steve Jobs admitted that he was devastated, but instead of giving up, he forced himself to keep moving. He started new companies, learned new skills, and continued creating, even when success seemed uncertain. During those difficult years, there were countless mornings when his brain probably wanted rest, comfort, or escape. Yet he chose discipline instead. He kept thinking, designing, experimenting, and solving problems. He trained his mind to focus on creating value rather than dwelling on failure. Eventually, Apple invited him back, and under his leadership, the company introduced products that transformed the technology industry. Steve Jobs once said, I am convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non successful ones is pure perseverance. Those words came from experience. His success wasn't built because everything was easy, it was built because he repeatedly chose the harder path when quitting would have been easier. His story teaches us a powerful lesson. Your brain will always try to protect you from discomfort, rejection, and failure. But if you allow comfort to make your decisions, you will never discover your true potential. Success belongs to those who can hear the voice that says, this is too hard, and answer it with action instead of excuses. As this journey comes to an end, remember one simple truth. Your brain is powerful, but it is not always right. It will tell you to stay comfortable, avoid challenges, and wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment rarely comes. Every successful person you have ever admired reached greatness because they learned to act despite fear, discomfort, and doubt. They didn't become extraordinary by having stronger brains, they became extraordinary by refusing to let their brains control every decision. From this moment forward, stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this? Instead, ask, will this move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is yes, do it even when it is difficult. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, action over procrastination, and growth over comfort, you are rewiring your brain to become stronger, more focused, and more resilient. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. One page read today, one workout completed, 1 hour of focused work, one difficult conversation, or one brave decision may seem insignificant in the moment, but these small victories compound over time, creating a life that once seemed impossible. Greatness is not built in a single day, it is built one disciplined day after another. So, the next time your brain whispers, this is too hard, smile and remember that hard things are not your enemy, they are your training ground. Every challenge you overcome is shaping a stronger version of yourself. One day, you will look back and realize that the difficult choices you made were the very reason your life changed. Thank you for listening. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Echo English for more powerful stories and life-changing lessons that help you grow both your English and your mindset. And before you leave, think about this. If your future self could send you just one message today, would it thank you for the choices you are making right now or beg you to stop making excuses and finally begin?